Mm-hmm.
Let people collect. I genuinely don't know who else is gonna show up, since a lot of people like Ace Attorney has already been kind of weird with attendance, anyways. Like we used to
Mm-hmm.
get like a ton of people, which is fine. Like people have things to do. We used to get a ton of people, and now it's like maybe like a couple people every time. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I understand. We've been doing this for a while, so and we're
Mm-hmm.
also very sparse in our
I
uh
think having these uh, filler Sundays, whenever we don't have Ace Attorney, will help with retention. Since
hopefully.
like we're not like twice every 2 months.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the main issue in viewer retention, right? Just
Right, not no
if you're
consistency.
not yeah, if you're not consistent, you don't get consistent viewers.
Yeah.
So if we just do different visual novels, whenever we're not doing Ace Attorney, we will possibly have a higher viewer retention. Yay!
Hopefully.
Alternatively, because uh, hmm. Now I'm wondering if we should. No, no, we already decided that once we finish one of these games, we're moving on to 13 Sentinels, and the other game is going to happen on Sundays. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we decided.
And it's likely that Lily Kosen is the one that we're going to be continuing because we're closer to finishing Corpse Factory.
As far as we can tell, anyways.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that. Those other sponsored streamers, or well, not sponsored, but like the ones that got the codes for early access, like us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and how they were like saying we made it like halfway through in like 4 hours.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
It
still
also,
don't know how if that's like halfway through a single route or like
right. That makes
what.
me think that like maybe they're just the original one, and they're not gonna go back and like that they're not talking about going back and doing stuff yet. Like they're just trying to go straight through.
Right, right, right. I
Yeah, I
don't know.
don't know.
I'm still on the fence about this game. It's like creepy occulty stuff, and I've never really been about occult stuff, you know.
Yeah,
Like
really,
I don't know why, but like occult stuff, demon summoning, it doesn't really appeal to me.
really.
If there's like mythology, like I think if it was like Cthulhu, I think I could get into it a bit more because there's like history behind that, right?
No, that's fair.
But if it's just like we made up a demon and this demon has nothing to do with real world
Yeah. Well,
myths
okay,
or
so there's a possibility it might, because I haven't been able to screenshot it because it goes away. But every time I start up the game, there's a thing that says that like this game was made in the land of the of a certain group of native people, and it understands or something like that, that like I don't even, if I thought I could get it up fast enough, because every time I try to screenshot it or show it fast enough on the screen share, it like
I
dies.
think what you need to do, right, is like do like a screen cap display capture
Yeah.
and then start up the game while recording on like OBS or something.
Yeah. Do you
Just
have
so
it
that
open? Do you have it open right now on Twitch?
I can open. Give me a second. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna quit out of this, and then I'm gonna put on my Corpse Factory screen capture so everybody can see all my shit. Uh, and then I'm gonna.
Hello.
Thanks.
Oh wow, that's a pretty background.
I found it on Pinterest a long time ago, and when I was in my like synthwave phase. Here we go.
Wurundjeri.
I don't know what that is, and so I don't know, because if they're British, I didn't know if there was a lot of, like, native people, because it seems like a native tribe thing to me. Okay, so, there we go. Turn Corpse Factory off. So, I'm wondering if maybe, Cal Nash has something to...
People.
What was it?
Australian Aboriginal people of the Woiwurrung language.
Oh, Australia. Interesting, okay.
And
so wait, are they Australian, not British?
Yeah.
Oh my god, this whole time.
Which, like, Australia was like, it was British, you know?
No, that makes sense.
Discord caption.
Oh, thanks. I knew I was forgetting something. Oh, I didn't send this. Oh, okay. Where are we at? There we go. Okay. So yeah, so I don't know. I was wondering if maybe like Cal Nash was like something related to that, or if it was just like if that was meant to be like a nod to like, hey, this land was made on this, and also we're using your shit, or if it was just meant to be like a, hey, we really respect that. So I don't know. Maybe there's something into it that might tie in.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know for sure. If not, I understand. Occult's kind of hit and miss for me. Like sometimes it's interesting, sometimes it's not. It really just depends. But I do like the idea of like things that come back over and over again. Like that's very fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
what is dead cannot die.
Yeah. So that alone is holding my attention right now for sure. So that's where we left off, right? Is with Lily coming back, and we burned her, and then we threw her body in the lake in a sleeping bag, and then we were like, all right, let's go back to town, guys, and she threatened to come back again, or well, not she really, it was Cal Nash as Lily, but she said that she was gonna come after us. Which I think we're the only ones that heard that, if I remember correctly. I don't think the other three heard it. Maybe.
No, I think we discussed if she comes back, etc., etc.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So yeah, I don't know. So I assume
the first of many deaths.
Yeah. Well, technically, this is the second death. If the first one.
Right, the first of many on-screen deaths.
Yeah. And presumably the first one that's, like, fully, like... Because I think they killed her because she was possessed the first time, so never mind, actually. Yeah, so, I don't know. And it'll be interesting to see. I guess we're gonna go back into, town now and, see what's up with that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh god, I gotta remember my Casey
Hi,
voice.
Floor!
Hi, Floor. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Floor. Yeah, no, it's been a while. I hope everything's going well for you. So the recap of this game is that we're a group of friends. There's 4 of us, and we had a friend named Lily Kosen, who's the title character of the game. This is a relatively new VN, by the way, that we got an early code for, and so we've been playing it. The Lily Kosen was our friend, and we found out she came back in the middle of our camping trip, and we realized we discussed how we had killed Lily Kosen because she had been possessed by a demon called Cal Nash, and then while we were talking about her, Lily appeared, and we were like, well, you're not really Lily, you're possessed. And so we managed to pass a couple of will tests and kill Nash again. But she said as she was dying that she would come back again, and then we threw her body in the lake, and now we're on the morning after of that. So yeah, I hope that was a good enough recap. We've only played like 2 sessions of this. This is only our 3rd one, so you haven't missed a ton yet. So I'm glad you're doing well. I miss seeing you around. Yeah, I don't remember any references.
We definitely failed the first time around.
Yeah, we totally failed because we didn't talk to ourselves.
Because the game explicitly told us, hey, spend some time with yourself and collect your thoughts, and we did not do that.
So we went back and redid it.
Mm-hmm. I wish the game would give us like a fucking fuck man. I wish the game would tell us our own like will meter.
No, yeah, that would be nice.
Sand check.
Yeah, it is super interesting so far, Flora. We really like it, and it's just kind of neat to being able to see like a smaller VN, and it's got an interesting, interesting topic. So yeah, sometimes you just gotta fail. Yep, that's just how it goes. You get knocked down, but you get up again. Never gonna get you down. Anyways.
All right. Let me make up an entirely new cake for us.
Oh no.
Because I cannot remember.
It was like soft British, I think.
Soft British.
I think.
Soft British, you think? Indeed, it didn't take long before Gabriel had started a new fire, without using petrol, of course, and started cooking breakfast. Alright, who wants the first one?
Me, obviously.
Were our smiles forced? Naturally, but there's only so much despair you can handle before your mind needs to focus on something else. Engaging in something as simple and normal as making breakfast, too, helped a lot. Why, obviously, Victoria.
Because, gang, I managed to do something this morning that nobody else in the history of the world has managed to do before. Give a round of applause, everyone, for Victoria V. Valentine, rock-skipping champion. You managed to get to 10 skips? Or was it 9 that you were aiming for? Even better, I managed to get 11. That's gotta be some sort of world record.
I can buy that. You made a solid argument, Victoria. Here's the first sausage.
Hell yeah! What happened to all the bread?
I just finished off the last few slices of this loaf, but there should be another one in one of the bags. What? Cakey! The hell is wrong with you? I like eating bread when I'm stressed.
And when you're breathing air, and when the sun is up, and when...
What's the big deal? We have another loaf. Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean you could just eat whatever bread is lying around. What if we need that bread for what? Feeding the non-existent ducks? As payment for someone to drive us into town if your dad can't come out? Trust you to consider bread to be adequate payment for something like that. What, you saying that you'd take no bread over some bread if given the offer? I never said that. Speaking of Dad, though, maybe I'll call him now. He will be good to come here and bring the stuff that helps jumps up my car, but I guess letting him know sooner rather than later is better. Give me a few.
You said that you normally eat bread when you're feeling stressed, Cakey.
Yeah, something about it just... bread is tasty, you know?
Maybe I'll give it a go. No, still the same as before. So that's where that loaf was. Kinda wish I'd asked earlier. That sausage was really hot to hold.
Why didn't you say anything? I didn't realize you were burning yourself. Ugh, poor choice of words.
Well, the way I figure it, it's sort of a win-win situation, isn't it?
Is it?
If I got to have the bread, then I'd get more fiber and shit. If I didn't, then my fingers get burned and get calloused, making them better for skipping stones next time. No pain, no gain, right?
Sure, we'll go with that. Everything good here? As well as could be, I guess. Excellent. I spoke to Dad, told him to show up in about 40 or so minutes. Figure that'll be enough time for everyone to eat breakfast and pack up the tents.
Sounds like a fucking plan to me. Let them eat bread, yes. I'd rather leave a little sooner, but that's still earlier than I was expecting. Thanks, Gabriel.
No issues here, so let's cook up the rest of the food, I guess. In the end, I traded Hannah, Victoria, and Gabriel my portions of meat in return for some more of the bread slices. Apparently, Keiki is a duck of some sort.
Yeah.
Also, apparently, you're not supposed to feed ducks bread.
No, it's bad for the insides.
Once we'd finished breakfast, we moved over and got ready to start packing up the tents.
Oh boy. Okay.
I want to continue ignoring Gabriel.
No, I'm totally fine with that. I'm trying to think.
We did ourselves last time.
Yeah, I was doing.
I think our order. If you want to go in like a continuous order, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, then Victoria's up.
Is it Victoria? Okay, I was trying to remember how we did it.
Yeah, Victoria was the car, Hannah was the forest, and then we were the
Gotcha.
blade.
Okay.
That takes Victoria up. Hey, Victoria, you busy?
I mean, I was gonna see how high I could make the fire flare up, but if you need these fucking awesome hands for something, I'm here. What's up?
How good are those fucking awesome hands of yours at taking apart tents?
I mean, I've never really ripped up a tent before, but I can't imagine it'd be that different to that time I punched a bed. They're both things you sleep in. Wait, you mean taking it apart and getting all the separate bits in their bags, didn't you? Yeah, I'm game.
After clarifying what we had to do to Victoria a few more times, just to be certain we were on the same page, we started dismantling the tent, talking as we did so. It's been nearly 12 hours since Kalnash appeared, but it still feels like we're all jumping at shadows. I should talk to her about it, but would that make it worse? To talk about the demons so bluntly? Maybe for now I'll stick to something a bit smaller scale. Victoria didn't really react well when I made my suggestions about what she should do for the test. I wonder what she's planning to do about it now. Oh, I think I understand how this is formatted.
Oh, really?
There's like... Or maybe. So Victoria has the test, and Hannah has the book. And like, if you whenever you talk to them, it's like event 1, event 2, event 3, event 4. It doesn't matter, like, when you bring up the event.
It always goes back to that conversation, whatever would be next up.
So I think this conversation is the conversation we had when she was skipping stones, except...
Oh, yeah, because we went back and I forgot about that. That hasn't happened in this version.
Yeah.
True.
So, Victoria, how,
Fucking awesome, of course.
Oh, really? Good to hear. You're not annoyed for the test you have to do. You're not still angry at the school for that.
Nah, of course not. Only a dickhead stays angry at stupid shit like that. And why stay angry when I could instead focus on good vibes? Waste of energy, if you ask me.
Yeah, this is definitely the same conversation.
Yeah.
Good to hear. You've come up with a new plan for getting away with not really having to do the test, haven't you?
Nah, I was thinking about it and trying to work out how to swap clothes with you without noticing.
What?
But then I realized, why bother? I could spend all this time burning myself out on a way to get out of doing the test, but at the end of the day, that's no better than burning myself out studying.
So, wait, so do you mean you're going to study?
What? Fuck no! Did you just hear what I said? Whether I'm studying or scheming, either way, it's just gonna burn me out and not accomplish anything in the end. It's a trap, you see?
I sort of see what you're talking about. What are you going to do then?
Isn't it obvious? I'll just stroll in there, do the test, and then head out. Minimal time spent, and I can get the fuck on with my life rather than stressing the little shit. Genius, isn't it?
Well, I'm glad you're not worrying about the test anymore, but I'm not really sure what... You should just gotta guess the answers, then.
Exactly. For most people, an idea like this would screw them over. But when it comes to Victoria v. Valentine, you gotta adjust your expectations and prepare for the impossible.
My confidence, Victoria. I think that's something that'll help you get far in life.
You think I'm just gonna fail it, don't you?
Well, I probably wouldn't use the word fail, but...
Oh, for fuck's sake, Keiki. Yeah, okay, I get it. I'm dumb. But you don't have to be so fucking negative about it. I found a way to get by this shit in an easy way. No need to be so fucking judgmental about it.
I'm just not trying to be negative. I'm just being realistic. And if it comes across as negative, that's because I care about you, and I don't want to see you just. If you fail the test, they'll just make you do it again, and then you'll be in this whole situation again. And then if you do some studying now, you'll avoid that. So I'm just not really understanding why you don't just. I can help you study, that's all. Wouldn't you rather do a bit of work now and get the whole thing out of the way for good?
Why should I?
Huh?
Why should I study? Do all that work and waste my time for what? This pissy little piece of paper? So I can impress the teacher or whatever, pass the class? What the fuck does any of it even matter?
Well, I mean, I know that saying this makes me sound like exactly like my mom, and I hate when she says shit like this, but it's for your future?
Oh, of course. I should totally be thinking about my future at this point. That's exactly why I go to school. For my goddamn fucking future.
Huh?
Sure, I'll just fucking, yeah, let's study. Break out the textbooks. Let's do some studying and learn this shit. Hell, why stop there? Let's learn science next. Gotta know all this shit if I want to become a wizard or whatever.
Victoria, sorry, I didn't... That wasn't the right thing to say, was it?
What did we do last time? I don't remember.
I think we apologized.
Do we want to do that again?
Do you think encouraging her to study is gonna...
I don't think it'll do anything.
Huh?
No, I think she's just gonna push back.
Yeah, just drop it. Sorry, it's none of my business whether you're studying or not, whether you're planning for your future or not. Look, whatever happens with the test, whether you end up working out a plan to get out of it or you have to do it and you can't get out of it, good luck either way. Studying is difficult, I get it.
Thanks, I guess. I did used to do it.
You mean study?
Yeah, I tried it, but then hell, I'm not really in the mood for telling the story.
You sure that you don't want to?
Nah, I'm good.
Great. Real big help you are, Kirky. Yelling at me might have made her feel a bit better, but I think I still need to talk to her some more.
Wow.
I'd finished dismantling the tent midway through the discussion, and with the conversation over, I carried the bag it was in over to Gabriel's car. So yeah, if we do proper social management, we should be able to get, all the events out of the way, while also keeping all of us alive. Or maybe we only get to... Because I don't know how many events there are in the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet
Maybe
either.
there's only a limited amount, and you won't be able to see all 10. Is it 10? It should be 10, right? You won't be able to see all 10 for everyone.
Yeah,
Because eventually, we'll just run out of events.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7?
7? Is it 7 for everyone? Yes.
Looks like it, yeah.
It is. Okay. So
28 events, including our own.
Yeah. No, I think there's 21 events, and then whenever we talk to ourselves, it's specific to the environment.
Oh, you think so?
I think when we talk to Hannah about movies and burning people alive in the movies, which was eerily accurate.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe talking to ourselves gives us a hint as to what's coming.
Oh, yeah. That would make sense.
Alright. We all worked together to pack up the rest of the campgrounds, timing it almost perfectly so that we were extinguishing the coals of the campfire just a few minutes before Gabriel's dad showed up. We managed to jumpstart Gabriel's car on the first try, and the 4 of us left Fusay Lake shortly afterwards. I was happy to leave the place behind.
Talking about issues isn't always easy, but it's usually better than ignoring them in favor of trivial talk. I think we got that one before. Oh my god! We
the first thing I did was...
We have a framed picture of bread.
Holy shit, we do.
I don't remember if that was there before and I just didn't notice it, or if that's here now after the bread thing has been a thing.
When I got home, the first thing I did was double check that all my doors were locked, close all the blinds, and then collapse onto my bed. I was emotionally drained and exhausted. For what felt like hours, I just lay there, barely even thinking. Everything felt so different now, but there was nobody outside of our group who knew or who would understand. In many ways, it was just like the previous year, right after we'd killed Lily. We just had to smile and pretend that everything was alright. Life would go on, just as before. Eventually, I picked myself up and moved over to my desk, got out a piece of paper and a pen. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, but I did have an essay that was due in class tomorrow, and if I didn't get it done now, then I was never going to. Alright, let's get this knocked out and done with. First things first, let's double check what the topic of the assignment is. Discuss the imaginative landscape and how it has affected your life. The fuck does that mean? The imaginative... What do they mean, how it's affected my life? Okay, I guess I just need to write something out now, then it's over and done with. Started writing the essay, choosing to write about the mountains that my friends and I had gone camping at several times. Got 2 paragraphs in before rereading what I'd done so far and realizing that it was terrible. The next attempt I made had me scribbling out everything halfway through my opening paragraph. Stupid assignment was just as bad as I thought it would be. I had no idea what the hell imaginative landscape was supposed to mean, even after having talked about it in class. That left me with no place to start. Maybe one of my friends can give me some hints about where to start. If I'll call...
Okay, is this meant to be like an us talking to ourselves thing? Or is this meant to be like a...
Yeah, I better do this myself as a stress decrease for us.
Oh, okay. So then Hannah?
Yeah, Hannah's up next on the rotation.
I also think it would make the most sense for this portion anyways, because she reads a lot, and she seems like she'd be into, like, essays and stuff, so...
The studious type.
Yeah.
I know that Hannah's not just going to do the essay for me, but I think she'll help me giving a starting point at least. Dialed Hannah's number, and to my surprise she answered it after only 1 ring. I can picture it in my mind's eye perfectly as she did so.
Keiki!
Hi, Hannah. Sorry for calling, but Are you busy?
She has glasses, thus she must be smart. Yeah.
Yes.
The perfect shorthand in character land. No, not at all. You want to talk about...
About the essay, yeah. Fuck. I realized yesterday that I hadn't done it.
She does not want to talk about the essay.
Started it twice, but it kept getting stuck and... Hannah? You there?
Yes, I just... Sorry, that just took me by surprise.
I mean, we don't need to talk about it right now. It's not that important, really.
Yes, maybe let's focus on something more important.
In retrospect, I probably should consider how Hannah would feel about me calling her up to ask about help with schoolwork. I think I'll steer this conversation in a different direction. Last time I talked to Hannah, she seemed alright, but it was obvious to anyone that there was something on her mind. Hopefully I can get her to open up a bit and get some stuff off her chest. Yo, Hannah, dearest and oldest of all my friends.
Well, we both know that's a lie.
As I recall it, but all of us became friends around the same time. Remember the detention thing?
Well, I guess that's when we all first got to know each other, but I'm fairly sure that over the following few weeks, you invited Gabriel over to your house before me.
I guess, but can you blame me? He's a very charismatic man. Almost too charismatic at times.
Yes. Gabriel certainly... He's a good person to spend a lot of time around. He's very sociable.
Anything wrong with that?
No, of course not. Just like I said, it kind of proves my point, doesn't it? I'm not the oldest of your friends.
Well, okay, that bit I maybe exaggerated a little bit. But you're definitely the dearest of my friends.
So, have you looked at the weather forecast? It looks like we're going to keep having pretty good weather this week.
Yeah, that's always nice. Wouldn't mind if it was a bit more overcast, though, if I'm being honest.
Oh, that's right. You don't have any air conditioning in your place, do you? I don't suppose you can use some of the money your parents left you to get some installed.
What's going on here? I'd probably better not. My parents were pretty insistent that I stick to only spending money on food and stuff, you know, like the bills and things. I've got a little bit left over for myself, and they don't mind if I spend that on personal stuff, but it's can't go too crazy with it.
But if you ran out of money, you could ask them for some more, surely.
Yeah, I could, and they'd send it, but I'd still have to be careful. I mean, sending them an email saying, "It's kind of hot here, let me buy the air conditioning you never got me all these years," isn't gonna have them very happy with me, is it?
That's a good point. Oh well, even if your place gets a bit hot, you can still go outside and sit in the shade or something like that. Do you ever like doing that?
I guess. Your house has air conditioning, right?
Yep, which I guess is why I don't mind the warmer weather. If it gets too hot, I can always put on the fan in my room.
That must be nice. I guess if things get too hot at mine, maybe I could come over and use your air conditioning.
Yep, you'd be welcome to. Just send me a text first and it'll be no problem.
Sounds good. Hannah, I don't want to pry, but you seem... Is everything alright?
Of course! Why wouldn't it be?
Well, it's just... Don't take this the wrong way, but I... Car... Firewood... Lake. There are 3 events before Lily shows up, yeah? But,
I think so.
So technically you can get to the 3rd event before Lily shows up. So technically, if I'm right and the formatting does work, that the events are the same no matter when you, it should work out that nothing before the 3rd event ever broaches the fact that you're about Lily, yeah?
I believe so.
Although, technically, there's only 2 events before Lily, because one of them has to be spent on yourself.
Right.
Or you die. So maybe it just disallows you from talking to anyone more a 3rd time, yeah? And the
Maybe.
3rd event does broach the topic of Lily Kosen?
Possibly?
Possibly.
Something we can test. On a replay.
Yeah. On a replay. Well, I'm glad that if the formatting is the way I think it is, we won't have to do as many replays.
Yeah.
Just ending hunting, right? Because there should only be... Well, I guess there's... However many events there are, there's the opportunity to talk to ourselves.
Right.
So there's always a new event. So there's like however many there are. There's one for us always, and then there's the 21 between our friends. So there is a limited amount of stuff. I guess we should keep track of when we talk to ourselves, right?
Probably.
And like, all right, we got a checklist on my phone.
Okay.
Well, let's just don't take this the wrong way, but if we're going to be hanging out, I could probably get by fine without needing to talk about my air conditioning, if that makes sense. Why are you suddenly so keen to talk about the weather and is everything alright?
I don't think it's anything you need to worry about. I think I'm just being stupid.
Well, maybe you are, maybe you aren't, but I won't know unless you tell me what what it is you're thinking about, will I?
But if I tell you, you'll just think I'm being dumb, and like I said, it's nothing you need to worry about. I'm just being really stupid about things, like usual.
I can't make you tell me, Hannah, and if you're not comfortable telling me, then, that's fine. I can just hope that over time I hope you're right and it is a minor problem, but if you want to talk to me, and if you want to get stuff off your chest, I can try and listen and help. No matter how stupid or small you think it might be. So I'm gonna ask you one more time, and if you don't want to talk about it, whatever's on your mind, then that's fine, and I'll drop it. So one last time. Is there anything on your mind that you want to talk to me about, or just talk through?
Do you promise not to tell the others about this for now?
On my life.
Alright, well... Keiki, do you three all like me?
Why do I think this is going in a polycule direction and not a self-esteem direction?
Oh, dang. Maybe.
Huh? Confirm that you do. Don't ask why she's asking. That's stupid.
Yeah, that sounds like
Don't answer a question with a question.
Yeah, that sounds like a real great way to tank her self-confidence and the conversation.
What kind of question is that? Of course we all do.
Yeah, that's what I thought. What? What
is on that girl's mind? Well, that definitely wasn't resolved, but her saying out loud would have helped, I think.
Huh. I also first thought she meant in a polycool way, and then realized she meant like his friends.
I don't think she meant his friends.
Honestly,
I don't know. Something's up with her.
Yeah, I don't know, because my brain sort of kind of went to it, too. Something about the way she phrased it. I don't know. That was a strange...
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Still, I guess that leaves me without any idea what to start with this essay. Guess I'll just write whatever I can for it and get forget about it. Not a big deal. I wrote out a bit less than a page about the mountains we'd visited in the past, spending the bulk of the content describing their physical appearance. Presented the wood count and wasn't going to get me any awards, but I had bigger fish to fry. By the time I was done with the essay, it was evening. After a quick microwave meal for dinner and another check that all the entrances into the house were locked, I went to bed. It felt weird to get ready for school the next morning. Weirder still was looking forward to it. Going to school meant being around my friends and being surrounded by other people. For a moment, I mused that if the events of Saturday hadn't happened, my emotions would be completely different right now. I'd be dreading the idea of heading to school and looking back on the weekend fondly. As it was, though, all I wanted was to meet up with some of the others, and it wasn't relaxing exactly, but I was certainly going to feel a bit safer.
Floor said this was the weirdest conversation. TM agreed.
I was just about to leave the house for school when my phone vibrated. Gabriel had sent me a message asking whether I wanted to walk to school with him, to which I immediately replied yes. As per his next message, I waited outside my house until he arrived. All the towns and all the countries in the world, and you just so happened to wind up in mine. And standing outside my door, no less. I assure you, it's a complete coincidence. Well, minus the part where I texted you and asked if you wanted to walk to school. I'll admit that was a bit more deliberate. What's going on? Is everything alright? What? Hey, that's my line. What's going on, Keiki? Is everything alright? I'm fine? I guess I'm fine. Yes, people that are fine definitely say that they guess that they're fine. It's a well-known trait of theirs. I don't know, I mean, physically, I'm obviously fine. No midnight attacks, everything in the house seemed fine when I checked it. Nothing was out of place. All the doors and windows and stuff there are still locked. I'm getting the feeling that there's stuff still on your mind, though. Jeez, I can tell that you studied hard for that degree in armchair psychology. What gave it away? Was it the fact that I had to kill Cal Nash again and got to see the body of one of my best friends burning up in flames, or the fact that I did a pretty shitty job on that stupid essay yesterday? There's a second one, innit? Wait, you had to kill Cal Nash again? Don't do this. I was thinking that it was probably something you had about the essay being on your mind, but you better elaborate. Don't be a smartass, Gabriel. Sorry? Just tell me what you're thinking right now. This was not to put it too lightly, but this was a stressful weekend for us all, so I want to know how you're doing. Uh-huh. And how about yourself? Don't try and... You've got to take care of yourself too, you know? Don't think I've forgotten some things that you said on Saturday. Of course. But we can hardly talk about how we're each feeling at the same time, can we? Oh, well, I mean, we probably can if we... Look, just talk to me a bit, then I promise you I'll share a bit. I guess I'm just not really sure of anything at this stage. I keep expecting Kalinash to leap out of the shadows or something. It's making me jumpy. This cheering music is so fucking distracting.
It's so like heroic. I feel like a superhero saving people in the background.
Our house.
Yeah.
But then I'm also telling myself that I don't want to drive myself paranoid with this stuff. I don't want Kalinash to sort of rule my life. Does that make sense? I mean... You're fine. It makes sense. Cool. I don't know. I feel like I'm at this crossroads where I want to continue forwards, leave the past behind, and not, like, forget everything that happened, because, like, we sort of said on Saturday, that wasn't a good idea. But I don't know, I just want to be safe. I don't know. I think I'm still sort of just processing everything that's happened, you know? I see what you mean. If I'm reading this right, you're scared of Kalinash possibly returning, but thinking about Kalinash is stressful and you don't want to deal with them. Maybe not in those words exactly, but that's... yeah, something like that. Alright, so hear me out. I was having similar sort of thoughts yesterday, thinking to myself, how can I protect everyone? What will I do if Kalinash comes to return? Started driving myself a bit crazy, I think. Well, crazier than I already am, that is. You're literally the samest person I know. At the same time, I know that, well, like you said, you don't want a Kalinash to really alive. Kalinash doesn't return within the next year, what then? 5 years, are we still gonna be checking under the bed for them? Will we still be keeping an eye out for the exit routes out of every building in 10? I don't know. Maybe that's what the normal thing to do would be. But I want to deal with... If Kalinash really is gone for good this time, I want to deal with this and put it behind us. Call me naive, but there'll come a point. Not now, maybe, but there'll come a point where we need to tough it up and accept that we're safe. That is, assuming that we're safe, but for argument's sake, let's assume Kalinash isn't, can't definitely come back. We need to have hope, you know? Yeah, I think I do get it. You do? Keep saying what you were saying. I'm liking it all. Right. Anyway, like I said, that was sort of where my thoughts went, and then I realized that... Why can't that be our attitude now? Wait, are you saying that you don't think Kalinash will come back? No, more like... I think it's possible Kalinash will come back. Hopefully not probable. And what I think we should do, what I'm going to do at least, is live my life as normally as I can. I mean, which isn't to say that I'm not going to sit around and pretend that everything's fine. But I'm going to plan for if Kalanash comes back and get ready, and then if they never do come back, cool. I haven't spent that much energy on the issue. I do like the idea of planning for Kalanash. What exactly do you have in mind? But, well, to be honest, I'm still sort of, trying to work out what exactly I should be planning. I need to pick up a plan. What would be able to stop Kalanash in a hurry? Oh. And if Kalanash comes back and you're not ready yet?
Oh no. I didn't realize this was a stress challenge.
We should have seen this coming.
Oh, he succeeded anyways! Damn, so you can really just neglect Gabriel for like a hot minute.
A while. Yeah.
I'm
for
worried.
min-max purposes, I guess we have to see like where the other two stress challenges come in, like later on, you know?
Yeah, because Hannah hasn't had a stress challenge yet.
Yeah. I guess like for min-max purposes, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be like, okay, we have to talk to ourselves. We have to talk to Victoria. The third one's up in the air, but the third and fourth and fifth ones should all be whoever's directly after this, right?
Yeah. I'm also wondering if, like, this sort of thing will stack. So, like, oh, it's fine, and then suddenly he cracks. Will doing one make him, so it's his 5th stress challenge, and he's passed the other 4. Do we just need to go back and do one at some point to make him to pass the 5th? Or does it stack? Like, he needs...
Check the log. Or, not the log, the menu. To see his... Do we get to see his... No, we still don't know what the fuck his stress level is.
I wonder why it won't show the stress level. If that's like a... We have to get through the game once and get like a real true ending that's not us dying in the middle of stuff to make this unveil itself, or what? It's interesting.
Oh. Well, to be honest, I'm kind of going with the assumption that I'll work something out first. I can only account for so many possibilities, right? I know it sounds kind of maybe a little too naive. Coming up with a solution, I mean. But I figure it's worth a shot, and let's see what happens next. Everything's up in the air right now. What do you think of it all? I don't know. I don't think it'll be that easy for the rest of us to do what you said earlier. For Hannah, Victoria, and me to just live like normal with an emergency backup plan prepared.
Oops,
and
sorry.
think that'll be easy for me. Of course it won't be. But that's why we've got each other.
Whole grain breads get their color due to cerealine, a ferment that's similar to diastase? I don't know.
Is that where the word cereal comes from?
That's what made me think. That's what made me question it too. I feel like that must be. Especially since so much cereal is grain based. Very interesting. Excuse me.
The morning lessons passed by in the blur. I think that I might have handed my essay in to the teacher with the promise of getting it marked and returned to me later in the week, but I couldn't say for sure. Kept trying to concentrate in class whenever I found myself getting distracted, but before long I'd start thinking about one thing or another and lose focus again. From what I could see, Hannah and Gabriel were similarly affected. Eventually, the bell rang for us to go out to lunch, and the 3 of us met up with Victoria outside.
Excuse me.
Victoria, hey! How are things going with you?
Fucking awesome now that it's lunch. No more teachers asking me what I'm doing outside of class or asking me why I'm carrying a baseball bat around. As if that's even something they need to know.
Yeah, it's not as if it's a dangerous weapon or anything.
More importantly, what are you doing here? This is pretty early in the day for you to be at school. Well, I was thinking about it a bit, right? And it's like, yeah, the weekend was... I won't lie, it was fucking terrifying. And I could have died. I almost did die if it weren't for Keiki. And that got me thinking, life's short, you know? I could have gotten hit by a car on the way here today. I could slip and fall off the roof of a tall building next time I climb up one. I might get sick tomorrow and it ends up with me dying. So anyway, the thing I'm trying to what I'm trying to say is that I'm gonna live my life the way I want to and not worry about other shit, whether it's Kelnash that's fucking me over or just teachers hating me. You never know when it might all disappear. Just, I don't want to miss out on shit, you know?
I like that sentiment a lot.
Me too. Except that you didn't show up to class this morning. Heh. Yeah, they have to get up earlier in the morning than me if they want to try and trick me into going to class.
It's interesting that you said you want to try not to worry about things, because I've had just some thinking yesterday about what to do and stuff. Well, I guess that shouldn't come as a surprise. We all probably did, huh?
I certainly reflected on some things. Duh.
How was I focusing on my essay so much again? So I was doing some thinking, and actually, before I get into that, did any of you send me a text last night? I actually didn't.
A text message? You mean those things that my parents send me when I ignore their calls? All of the messages I sent were in the group chat, same as always.
You're all certain? One of you isn't pulling a prank on me.
After the shit we had to deal with over the weekend, the last fucking thing I want to do is fuck around with any of you lot. Which icon is the one for sending text again?
Alright then. Probably just a weird scam then. Before I could ask Gabriel why he had asked us what he meant, he continued talking. So Kalinash texted Gabriel using Lily's phone. Demon phone.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I've sort of thought was that things it all feels up in the air right now. Wouldn't you agree? It's hard to tell whether Kalinash is going for good or whether I don't know what's going on there, how Kalinash came back on Saturday after we thought they were dead for good. We've all agreed that we're not going to just pretend that nothing happened this time, but at the same time, I don't want to constantly be terrified of Kalinash. I mean, not to get too optimistic, but what do we do if Kalinash doesn't return in 2 years? I can't know what's going on right now, obviously, but if Kalinash really is dealt with for good this time, then I want to put this behind us. No, I don't want to pretend that it didn't happen, like I said, but I want to be able to wake up one day and know that it's something that's been dealt with healthily.
What are you proposing, Gabriel?
What I'm going to spend my time doing now is I'm going to plan and get ready for if Kalinash comes back.
How?
Well, I really haven't thought of that yet, to be honest. But I'll think of something soon, and when I do, I'll tell all of you. Hopefully, whatever I end up coming up with, it's something that we can use to help Kalinash for good, temporarily at least. And if it ends up not being needed, then no biggie. We can keep going with our lives and deal with this whole ordeal in some kind of normal way. What do y'all think? Will you help me with whatever we end up needing to do? Hell yeah!
Yup.
Hannah?
None of you have... Nobody's even thinking about what I wanted, are they?
Sorry?
I want to... I said it on Saturday and I'll say it again. I want to tell some adults about Kalnash. I want to bring someone else in on this. Someone that can help us and someone to protect us. It's all I want, but you three keep shutting me down.
Well, we don't have the...
I don't care if we don't have the body. Someone will believe we need to do this. Gabriel, you can talk about preparation and planning all you want, but we have no clue what's going on with Kel Nasher. How do you know that whatever you plan will end up being a solution? How do you fucking know that bringing other people in on this shit will work out for the best? What? Let's put aside the idea of us getting arrested or whatever, which, by the way, I still reckon could happen. Let's assume that people do listen to us and buy that Kelnash is a demon or whatever. We convince them that they should help us and all that shit, yeah? Yes. What if that just puts them in danger? What if they might end up trying to help us and Kelnash kills them? Or Kelnash might even target them and take them out first. What do we do if that happens, Hannah?
To rewind a bit, Hannah, I don't know that anything I plan will end up being the solution to our problems. I could end up coming up with an amazing plan, and then Kelnash snaps my neck before I can execute it. Or I might end up thinking that I've worked out how to unsummon Kelnash, only to discover that it's completely wrong. Oh, this is Gabriel's theme. Okay.
Yeah. It's a little jarring still, but
it says a lot about him as a character, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
That we think that he's heroic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we think of Victoria as violent and rocky.
Yeah.
And we think of Hannah as
like calm and meek and jazzy, apparently.
I don't know what Jazzy is in terms of personality.
I don't know either.
But even if I'm wrong, even if it's all screwed, then I'd rather be trying to get out of the situation myself. Not dragging other people in to clean up our mess, and not sitting back and waiting for them to find a solution. Taking responsibility for our actions and doing what we can to fix things. You say that you want to feel protected? I'll do the best I can to protect the three of you, and I'm sure you'll all do the same for me. Gabriel.
How can...
You need to talk about your problems to someone. Talk to us! We can understand things better than anyone else could.
Are you sure?
I'll sure as hell put in my best effort.
Me too! Both when it comes to listening to you and smashing Kalnash's face in if they do come back. Yeah.
Exactly what Gabriel said. I'll put in my best effort and we all want to help you, Hannah. You're no more alone in this than the rest of us are.
Okay then. I guess I'm being pretty dumb, aren't I? I'm sorry, I'm just...
Not in the slightest. Yep. You're doing what you feel is right for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. I am sorry that we can't work out a compromise for what it's worth. Maybe let's see how things are doing in a few days, and what I've come up with.
Thank you, Gabriel. And Victoria and Keiki. I'll trust in the three of you. And I hope that the three of you could trust me. Only been doing it most of my life. What's a bit more on top of all that?
After going over everything once more, we agreed on what we'd do. Gabriel would investigate what he could about Kalnash. Han and I would help out if we could. We would make sure that we communicated clearly if we had issues with anything that came up in the process. Victoria was just happy to hang out with us, regardless of what we were doing. For the first time in a long while, I felt as though things might be looking better in the future. None of us were deluded enough to think that things were instantly solved, but we gained more confidence than before. Alright, we still got a bit of time before lunch is over and we have to go back to class. I think I'll...
So this should be spend some time by myself, right? Because we did Victoria at the camp, Hannah earlier, and then...
Now that there was a lull in the conversation, I realized how exhausted it had made me. The weekend had been draining enough, but talking about all of this and trying to seriously work out what to do next, it was exhausting. Moving away from the others a little, I lay down and closed my eyes, blocking out the world for a few minutes. When I opened them, there was a familiar face in front of me.
Yo!
Hey, Victoria.
What you doing all the way over here?
It's all kind of heavy, you know? I just need to lie down for a minute and go through my thoughts, I think.
Yeah, and what thoughts would those be?
Actually, you want to know?
It's all good. I don't know if you noticed, but there's this little thing I've been trying recently where whenever I get the time, I'll choose one of you lot to go over to and chat about some stuff. And you're not doing anything, so I figured that's as good a sign as any that I should have a good listen.
I can't believe Victoria is playing the game at the same time as us.
Yeah, for real.
That's really nice, Victoria. Thank you.
Anytime. Anyway, what's on your mind?
Do you want to talk about Gabriel's plan?
I mean, not really, but I'm not sure what the cloud's gonna do.
Well, we won't know until we click on it.
What do you want to do?
I don't really care about Gabriel's plan right now.
Okay.
What do you think that cloud looks like?
The one that looks like a dragon chasing down 4 knights?
No, the one that looks like a cloud.
Oh, you mean that one over there to the left more?
Yeah, that one's a bit darker than the one you mentioned. Which doesn't look like a dragon chasing down 4 knights anyway. Clearly a griffin.
If I had to say, I think it looks kind of like...
Victoria squinted her eyes and opened them wider. She then squinted again before looking ahead, so that was on its side.
Looks kind of like... a cloud!
Cloud.
What is it you guys vitriol against Gabriel? We don't necessarily have a vitriol against Gabriel. We're just trying to see how, like, independent he can be. It's just kind of a test at this point. I don't know why, because he's the first character we really, like... Well, that's not true. We talked to Hannah first.
We talked to Hannah first, and I like Hannah.
Yeah.
I'm getting vibes off Hannah.
Oh?
I don't know what those vibes are, but I'm getting, like, vibes.
Interesting. Is it the polycule vibes?
It might be polycule vibes. But I'm definitely getting, I just like her design, her body type. I enjoy Hannah.
Hannah's cute, and I like Victoria a lot, too, myself. Gabriel just seems a little too, like...
Peppy.
Peppy, and leader, and hero, and, like... Yeah, he's
like
fine.
Heroes.
You like what?
I like breaking heroes. I like breaking heroes.
Oh, yeah. I think it's interesting to see. It's just interesting to see how far we can push him before he breaks. Like, he's fine. We're not necessarily, like... We don't hate him or anything like that. We just are like, eh.
Yeah. So, like, nothing against Gabriel, just...
Okay, because it's like, since we're all ignoring Gabriel and I don't care about his plan, yeah, we just decided early on, like in our first playthrough, I don't even remember what triggered it, but we were like, we just decided, because there's all these stress tests and stuff like that, we decided we're just going to test and see. We tried at first to see how far we could go without talking to Gabriel or ourselves, and then we died very early on from not talking to ourselves, so we were like, okay, now we need to start paying attention to ourselves. And once we get to that point with Gabriel, we will start. I was like, what has he done? Hannah has glasses, which is a plus for me, huh? Yeah, Hannah's very cute. But yeah, no, it's nothing really against him personally. It's just something we decided arbitrarily.
Mm-hmm. He's a cool older brother type.
Yeah, he makes me think of, well,
Hero.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, that's ironic, but he doesn't make me think of Hero from Omori a lot. Does that make us Kel? No, we're not obnoxious enough.
We're not obnoxious enough yet.
And so, wait. So does this mean Victoria is Audrey?
Yes.
And so Hannah's Mari?
Hannah's Basil.
Fuck!
Oh,
That's what the
shit.
vibe
Yeah,
is
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my god, you're so right. Oh, and then so
Lily is Mari.
which fits and
Like,
oh my god. We did it. We cracked the code. So, oh, you'll only talk to him if it kills you? Yeah, basically. Or if it kills him.
no. If it kills him and the game doesn't end, we just keep moving with our lives.
That's true. Yeah, because it seems like there's ways for this to go on without people. So I should be saving more so we can come back to these points, and I keep forgetting.
No, that's fine. It doesn't really matter for first playthrough because we're not going back.
That's true.
Too
We did
often.
to say we were gonna try to do as much as we could through just the
I guess we
normal
should be
way.
saving a bit more frequently because, like, or well, no, wait. You know what? Actually, I'm trusting the game developers, the game devs. I'm trusting the game devs, right? To be aware of our limitations. There are limitations on the player to be able to manage everyone socially, right? It's like I don't know if you know anything about Persona, but like Persona 3 was developed with the intention that you could not get everyone's social rank to the max level. And then people were able to do it anyway.
Oh wow, really?
So then future Persona games were like, okay, we have to give you like a little bit more time to get to know people so you're not like
Rushing.
stressing and refreshing everything and like min-maxing and save stuffing so you could get everyone to where they need to be.
Interesting.
I'm going to trust the game devs to understand that, like, hey, it would be hard to manage 4 people at the same time. It would be very difficult to do that to get the golden end, whatever the golden ending is, right?
Right.
So, if they, because like it was a surprise to die at the first stress challenge, but the game did explicitly tell us, hey, you need to spend some time with yourself so you don't stress yourself out.
Yeah,
they
that's true.
They explicitly said that. So
Yeah.
I think that we don't have to save because they're not going to give us a game over. Because we're going on this like rotation, right? We're only managing 3 people right now.
Right.
So unless they give us a game over for not talking to Gabriel, which I don't think they will do. I think we only get a game over if we die.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So like if I just want to put faith in the game devs.
Yeah.
To be like, they're not. We don't have to save, grind over and over and over and over and over again, because we're not going to run into so many dead ends that we have to religiously go back and load a save from like 5 minutes ago to make sure we don't fuck up. Right?
That's fair. That's
Does that
fair.
make sense?
No, I agree.
And also, there are autosaves.
True. I forgot about that. I forgot.
So, like,
Autosaves are
game, if the game does give us a game over,
yeah, we could
because
just
we
load.
fucked everything up, we could just vote for this autosave that we have.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, like, you know how when there's an atomic explosion and there's a big mushroom cloud? Take away the bottom sort of pillory bit and rearrange the leftover shape a bit, then add in some more spikes and blobs. And that cloud is exactly what it would look like. That cloud is shaped like a mushroom cloud.
Give the cloud a brief look. Tries them out, it didn't look anything like a mushroom cloud to me. Maybe even Victoria had tilted her head, the blood had rushed to it, and she was having hallucinations. No, I don't really see it.
No biggie, it's all like it matters. What's it look like to you?
It's a bit distorted, but I guess it kind of looks like a... What are those things with a spiky ball and a stick?
A mace! I love maces.
But there's also like a chain part connecting the spiky bit to the stick part.
Oh, you mean a flail? Yeah, they're alright, I guess.
That's what it looks like to me. And that bit over there to the right of it, that's the fish that's wielding it.
Nah, I can't see that. What do you think that other cloud looks like?
Which one? The one that looks like a griffin?
What griffin?
Never mind. Which cloud were you talking about?
Do you see that one way over there? Looks kind of like a Rorschach test.
There's a test where you Rorschach. Is it like a sushi thing?
Nah, it's like, you know the thing with the black and white bloopy pics, and you have to tell what sort of things they look like?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Flail, my beloved. Or, oh, come on, you have to have heard of them. They're all over the place in movies and stuff.
Can you give me an example where I would have seen one before?
Obviously, you know that famous scene in...
You can't think of any movies where one appears, can you?
Well, it's not my fucking fault, is it? Maybe if the movie people put more of them in their movies, then I'd have more examples.
How about you tell me what that cloud looks like to you again, and I'll tell you what it looks like to me.
It's that one over there. It looks kind of like a moth.
Oh, that one? Yeah, I'd say that's about right. A big moth. That bit there is one of its wings, and that bit at the bottom's where it's stretched out a bit is another one. Kind of scrunched up, but doesn't look like anything else in particular.
It'd be fucking cool to go up there sometime.
To the giant moth in the sky.
Why the fuck would you think that's what I meant? That cloud's gonna drift apart, idiot.
Sorry, I didn't really get what you meant. What do you mean?
Going up to, like, the clouds. In, like, a hot air balloon or some shit. That'd be really fucking cool.
Yeah? I think you might be onto something there. Why would you want to go up that high? Probably so she can drop heavy objects on people she doesn't like.
I don't know. I guess I just think that it'd be cool to be up so high, so far away from everything. Nobody to get angry at me or whatever. A lot of space between me and dumb shits. Plus, can you imagine how fucking small everything would look from there? You'd be able to look over the edge and get a massive fucking adrenaline rush. Then when it wears off, do it again. It'd be fucking awesome.
I'm gonna save this well in advance of any hot air balloon trips we might make. Please don't stick your head out the side.
What's the big deal? My body's gonna be inside the basket the whole time. It's not gonna be dangerous.
It could be.
No, I wouldn't be. How dangerous could looking out over that much space be?
What if a swarm of seagulls flies past and knocks you out of the basket?
Then I just grab onto the edge of the basket and pull myself back in, duh.
If I reiterate what I said earlier, you're still gonna do it anyway, aren't you?
Try and stop me and I'll throw you out of the basket.
That's what I thought. Still, I like your idea. Maybe at some point in the future, we can pool our money together and try a hot air balloon ride. Sounds like a nice idea.
Fuck yeah, I'm holding you to that, Keiki.
We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'm gonna go see what Hannah and Gabriel are up to. Feel like we've been talking about clouds and stuff forever.
Cool, sounds good to me. Yay!
Walked over to Gabriel and Hannah, Victoria following closely behind me. Just as I did so, the bell for start of class rang. Well, this was good, everyone. I'm glad I think we managed to sort out some sort of plan, and I'll let everyone know what to do when I work out what next steps are.
Thanks, Gabriel. I better get going now. I don't want to be late for chemistry.
Yeah, same here. I bet,
Hold up a sec. Are you not fucking kidding me?
About what? I do have chemistry now and I don't want to be late.
Did we just work everything out or not?
in what sense?
We literally just said that you lot all agreed that we're not going to sit around and be scared of Kelnash, right?
Right, because Gabriel's gonna try and...
So why go back to class?
Because that's how school works?
Well, yeah, but what I mean is, why go back to class when you could all live a little? I mean, think about it for 2 secs. Is going to class really the most important thing in our lives right now?
Yes.
Oh. Well, that might be the case for you lot, but it isn't for me. And maybe I want all of you to support me, and it's not fun hanging around outside your classrooms, okay?
Victoria, What are you trying to say?
Yesterday it wasn't very fun, okay? And God fucking damn it, can we just keep hanging out for a bit longer? Fuck class! We had a damn big weekend and it's not going to be the end of the world if we just hang out for a bit longer today. Until the end of the school day.
To be honest,
Yeah, alright. Alright. Yeah, my marks are good enough, and like Victoria says, it's hardly gonna be at the end of the world. Screw it. Ditching classes a go for me. Yeah, alright, it probably shouldn't be, but whatever. If I go to class with the knowledge that you're ditching on your own, then I'll just feel like I'm missing out. Excellent. Anna, do you want to come with?
well, if you don't think that we'll get caught, then do you think we'll get caught?
Nah, we'll be fine. If the teacher finds us, we'll just tell them that we're running an errand. It'll all be good.
Okay, so then I take it you've got an idea for what you want us to do.
Yep, just follow me.
Victoria led us through a few corridors of the school until we eventually reached an empty classroom.
I thought when she said that, she meant that they were gonna go off campus.
So did I. Opening it with a key she'd gotten from goodness knows where, we all entered and chose random seats to sit at.
Alright, here we are, gang. Who's ready to play the Sport of Kings?
Hacky sack! No, the sport of kings is horse racing. Hacky sack's probably more the sport of knights, I guess. What? No, it isn't! You can't hacky sack when you're in full armor.
It's true, I tried it once. It didn't go down well.
I think Gabriel was saying that because hacky sack also has very erratic and unpredictable movements. Just like a knight in chess.
But you can't base it on the piece's movements, otherwise by that logic, kings would be all about trying to do loops around the board. True. I guess horse racing is more like Monopoly sport.
I like that comparison. Both of them are about throwing away money and wasting everyone's time.
Also, sometimes the dog is the one doing the laps. So, did you bring a Monopoly bowl with you, Victoria? I call being in the car.
No. I was actually kind of meaning the Sport of Kings in the card game sense.
What, go fish? What, go fish? Again? We always play go fish.
What's wrong with Go Fish?
Well, you do tend to always win at it.
Every single time. I don't want to owe you any more money than I already do.
Okay, fine. I guess we could play something different. Anyone got any ideas? Hannah's being based.
About poker.
I guess I'm fine with that. What will we use for chips, though?
Okay, no, that... Yeah.
I've got an app on my phone that'll keep track of chips for us, including how many are in the pot. They don't want to owe her money, but then they're playing for, like, poker, which is, like, real shit.
Works for me. I'll leave the deal then, shall I? Gabriel shuffled the deck of cards that Victoria had brought with her and dealt out 2 cards to each of us.
Thanks, Gabriel. Good luck, everyone.
Heh, thanks, Hannah, but looking at what I've been given, I think it's safe to say that I've already got plenty.
I looked on the cards I've been given to see what they were. 10 of spades, not bad. The other card is the knife of spades. Australia, why are you like this? Are you...
You okay? What did you connect?
My other card is the knife of spades. What is a knife of spades?
Oh,
Does it mean the ace?
I didn't even really, like, connect that. My brain just accepted that.
Why? It doesn't mean anything. Whatever. Okay, cool. Got two cards in the same suit and they're both relatively close to each other. I'll be able to bluff for a full house with these. Where's the real flush? Is it a jack or an ace?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
Googling knife of spades with quotations around it gets me nothing.
I tried what is knife in card terms in Australia, and the top thing is an Australian article from 2014 saying credit card knives growing in popularity.
Whatever. Fucking... So weird. But there's also that thing where you get 5 pieces together in your hand, you automatically win. Wait, oh, that's the wrong game.
Alright then, looks like I'll be starting.
Hey, don't the official rule says the oldest person starts?
I think you're thinking of the rules for Go Fish, Keiki. And Victoria is the oldest of us, that's what I was thinking.
Fair enough. You can carry on, Victoria.
Damn straight I can. I'm liking my opening hand, so let's start things off with a bit of spice. I'll raise.
Alright, this is fine. I'll call.
Me too. Alright, this is where I come in then. With an elegant flourish, Gabriel revealed the first card of the flop. Queen of Spades.
Thanks, Keiki, I never would have guessed.
Then Queen of the Knife. Damn, this is an amazing start. I'll need to double check, but if we can get a jack... So it is an ace! Okay, fucking... If we get a jack from another suit, I think I can build up some sort of combo from them. Nobody's saying anything else. Gabriel revealed the next card of the flop. 5 of Spades.
Victoria, are you sure you shuffled this deck?
I was supposed to shuffle it.
Why wouldn't you? Are you saying that this is just a fresh packet of cards?
Of course it is. Otherwise, how will I know that you lot won't mark the cards and cheat?
But you brought the cards. If anyone had the opportunity to be you.
Oh, so you're calling me a cheater now?
No, of course not. But if anyone was here was going to cheat, it'd be you. Actually, I noticed that Victoria had passed the deck of cards to me as it was, so I shuffled it before dealing. Hey, really? Yeah. So all these spades are just... If they're all clumped together in the deck and not spread out further, that's on me.
Well, maybe don't blame yourself quite yet. We still haven't seen what the third card of the flop is.
True. No time like the person does then. Everyone in the room, including Gabriel, held their breath as he flipped the third card of the flop. We all took a moment to comprehend what we were seeing before letting out a collective groan.
Alright, Gabriel, how many chips did Hannah promise you in return for you seeding the deck for her?
None!
You sure about that? When you answer this time, don't forget that I'm holding the world's deadliest weapon in my hand. I don't think that's the case.
I'm sure. Why would I want Hannah's chips anyway? I can literally give myself as many chips as I want by hitting the button on the app. If I was playing in the game, that is.
You raise a valid point. Keiki, what do you think? Should we let Hannah off the hook, or is that just what she wants us to do? Keiki?
Third card is the Jack of Spades. If I can keep the bets low and hold on to my chips, I think I'm going to win this. But if I act like I'm not confident enough for a raise, everyone will get suspicious when I don't fold.
Oi! Keiki, you still with us?
Huh? Yeah. I am. Yeah, let's do the thing you said.
Let Hannah off the hook?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, Hannah. We'll accept Gabriel's excuses this time.
Alright. What happens if you do jump to think that I'm cheating again?
That's a good question. What do you think, Keiki?
How about... Could you three please just hurry up and get back to the game?
Right. Sorry, Gabriel.
Just need to keep the pets low and I should be good. Come on, Hannah and Victoria, don't pay any attention to me. Got lucky in the next round as I simply checked, so no chips had to be spent. There's a
Oh,
sigh of relief from
so
Gabriel.
sorry.
Ace
My
Ace of
finger
hearts.
keeps.
It doesn't.
Oh, Jesus. Thank goodness. I think it was just those first 3 cards that were clumped together in the deck. Why, Hannah, you wouldn't be relieved that there's a heart in play now because you've got some more in your hand, would you? No? Can we keep playing?
Wasn't so lucky in the next round as Victoria raised daily and we went around a few times, draining most of the chips I had. Proved to be to the detriment, though. She soon couldn't keep up with the demands she created and she had to fold.
This is bullshit. Shouldn't I get extra chips or something since I brought the pack of cards?
That's only fair.
I'd rather not.
Hell no. Hell no.
Ah! I know we should have played Go Fish.
Gabriel flipped the final card, but I doubted it would change anything. A moment later, my prediction was proven correct. There's another 5, this one of hearts. Didn't change anything about my hand. And it's got 2 5s.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. So it looks like we're just about. Alright, Hannah, read him and weep. Not only do I have the 10 of spades, but you see what this little thing is? Could it be the knife of spades? Thank God. Okay.
Oh, so it was just us being dumb.
The what of spades? The knife of spades. The knife of spades. The knife of spades comes after the queen, but before an ace. Oh my God.
It's the king, Keiki. That card is the king of spades.
Eh? So you got a little letter K in the corner. Stands for king. Are you sure? Knife in the guy's hand is pretty big.
Believe me, if the card was a knife, I'd know for sure. What are we talking about?
You didn't think that was a bit weird, though? There was a queen, but no king. Queen is pretty prominent in chess. And monarchies? Look, the point isn't about whether or not the knife got changed to being the king at some point in history of playing cards or not. The point is that I've got a straight 10, Jack, Queen, King, and Ace of Hearts. That's pretty damn. Please.
Actually, you've got a flush. Between your 2 cards and the 3 spades that Gabriel revealed, that's 5 of the same suit.
Is the flush better than the straight?
I don't know. I barely understand poker.
I don't remember. Oh.
It's a good thing. That's worth more than a straight. Okay.
Oh! Brilliant. That means Hannah is.
Unfortunately, my full house beats it.
Eh? Hannah revealed the 2 cards in the hands, Jack of Hearts and the Jack of Clubs.
2 jacks in my hand, the jack of spades on the board, and 2 5s also on the board. That's a full house, which beats a straight.
Did you snatch victory from right under my nose? How the hell did you do that?
Mostly I just crossed my fingers and hoped that the last card would be something good. And it worked! Sorry, Keiki.
No, you're fine, Hannah. You played well. Congratulations on winning.
Does this mean we can finally start playing Go Fish?
Fortunately for Victoria, Gabriel wanted the game next, so her wish wasn't granted. Switch to be only the dealer. We kept playing like that, rotating who was playing which game and starting a fresh pot each time. Once we were done with poker, the 4 of us switched to building the house of cards, which we were still doing when the bell for the end of the school day rang.
How about that? End of the school day already.
If I'd been in class, this would have dragged on for so long. Good idea to judge for the afternoon, Victoria. You should do it again sometime.
Hell yeah, we should. I get more incentive to show up to school. You guys get to hang out with me. Everyone wins.
Although, if we were just going to stay around until the end of the day, I'm not sure why we needed to be at school for the whole thing. We could have gone to Keiki's house and hung out there.
Brilliant idea, Hannah. We'll do that next time. Less chance of being caught by teachers, too.
Oh, I, didn't mean...
Well then, I might add on. It's been fun doing this, but I did promise Mum that I'd help with some painting after school.
Yeah, I'm going to leave too. I don't want to be found in here by one of the cleaners.
Might as well head home too.
I guess if you three are going home, there's not much reason for me to hang around here, is there?
Before I go, there's one thing I feel like I should address. How's everyone feeling? I don't want to assume that everyone's doing great now that I've maybe come up with a solution. Is everyone going to be okay with tonight?
It's like you said, we can't be scared of Kelnash and living in fear. We've got this.
Hell yeah, I'll be fine. Kelnash appears, I'll kick their ass black and blue.
I trust whatever you're gonna work at, Gabriel. How can I be worried and stressed when you're around? Good to hear. Alright then, I guess I'll head off, and if anyone needs to talk, I should be good for it. See you all tomorrow.
Thanks for bringing the cards, Victoria. Keiki, Victoria, I'll see both of you tomorrow too.
Good to see you at school, Victoria. It was good hanging out. You show up tomorrow?
If you three are going to be ditching class again, then just try and keep me away. Although, I might have to show up to class anyway, just so they don't call my parents. I'll see how it goes. Either way, see you then.
So what the hell am I still hanging around here for? Holy fuck.
What?
I don't know. It's just slow build up.
Oh, yeah. It's starting to, like, let's play cards in classroom. I'm like, are you sure Higurashi was not a reference for this? Because that's got big Higurashi vibes.
Maybe it was a bit optimistic of me, but that evening I really did feel more relaxed and better than I had yesterday. Gabriel might not have really had anything concrete so far, but just knowing that there was a plan in action to prepare for Kalanash's potential return helped a lot. I slept almost soundly that night and almost felt excited as I left school the next day, keen to see my friends. Morning's classes passed slowly, but eventually ended, and I got the chance to talk to everyone properly at lunch.
Alright, so here's what I'm thinking for today. Who wants to learn how to play 52 pickup? Great game.
Seriously, Victoria? I'll pass.
Is it very hard to learn? If it's a simple game. Otherwise, I feel like your knowledge of the game will let you win, Victoria.
Oh, don't worry. 52 pickup is really easy to learn. Give me a sec to set up and I'll
No.
explain what you need to... Oh, come on, Gabriel! Don't ruin it!
Keiki, don't play 52 pickup. Come on. We're not going to be playing any games today.
I love the idea of this, like, Victoria just doing it and Keiki just, like, scrambling on the ground trying to pick everything up and the others just watching her. Bullshit! What gives you the right to tell us what we can and can't do, Gabriel?
It's simple. You need to talk about Kalnash.
Uh-oh, did he get another text?
We do?
Yep. I said that I need to work out what to do next, and I did a lot of thinking last night. I think I've maybe worked out why, or how, Kalnash came back after we thought we killed him. You have? How? This is just a theory, but this is why I don't want us to be hanging around playing games. I'll run this past you three, and let me know what you think, whether my theory is plausible or not.
But we could play a 52 pickup after you finished your theory, right?
Whatever. So here's what I thought of, and like I said, let me know what you all think of it. I'm gonna stop going off simple logic here.
I'm all ears.
So, a bit over a year ago, we killed Lily's body, and that seemed to stop Kalnash, who was possessing it. Obviously, though, it wasn't as bonus as we thought it was. Kalnash's appearance over the weekend proved that.
Yeah, and Kelnash obviously had memory of what we'd done and knew to try and pretend to be Lily to throw us off at first, so it's not some sort of different demon that was summoned somehow. It's the same demon we summoned and had to deal with.
Right. So one thing I had noticed was that it was kind of hard to notice because of the burn skill he caused on Lily's body distracted from it, but the body didn't have any scars or injuries on it, which is... it's weird, isn't it? Victoria, Keiki, and I stabbed, while you, Hannah, held it down. We must have stabbed Lily, like, I don't know how many times. But it was a lot, and the body was covered in wounds and blood by the time we were done. Anyway, Lily's body didn't have any wounds on it Saturday, so what I'm thinking is, what I think might have happened is, Callanish might have been able to heal her body. I mean, that's sort of the whole reason we summoned them in the first place, isn't it?
So what you mean is that even though Lily's body was dead, Kalash was somehow they were able to heal it? That they never really died, they just sort of became dormant once we killed Lily?
Something like that. We don't really know how demons work, but that's the best theory I can think of. Wait. How come that Callanish can heal Lily's body? That explains how they're back now and why her body didn't have any injuries up on it. This is right. It'll almost mean that Callanish will return and we haven't dealt with them for good. Shit. But if that's the case, then why hasn't Callanish come after us before now? It's been over a year. That I was hoping one of you would have an idea for. It's possible that there's some, I don't know, significant dates to do with the moon, or some mystical, I don't know. It could be anything as far as I can tell.
Ooh, shit. Double
Lily's
tapping.
body.
Well, Lily's body was buried in a grave, wasn't it?
Yes.
So doesn't that mean that if Kalnash revived, then they would have been in a tight space and, like, not able to move much? I think I see what you're getting at, Victoria. Kalnash revives and can't move around much. Depending on how they might have even died again from lack of oxygen, only to revive again and repeat the whole process. Oh, that's horrifying.
While they are alive, they start trying to weaken the coffin a bit, hitting it bit by bit. Progress is slow, but eventually the wood weakens, maybe some of the moist soil helping it along.
God, we've been trying to get on with our lives this past year, and the whole time Kalnash has been in the grave, slowly making their way out, trying to free themselves so they could come after us again.
So what does that mean about us putting Collin's body in the lake? Well, we weighed the sleeping bag down with rocks, but I can't imagine that would provide much of an obstacle than being buried dead. Like, Kolnosh will probably revive, and they'll probably come out of the lake eventually. They will! Why wouldn't they? Even if the body drowns from all the water, Kolnosh will just revive again and try once more.
Well, then what do we do now? We know Kalnash came back, but does this give us any solutions?
That's not entirely correct. We've made some guesses about how Kalnash was able to return, since we killed him, but it's just speculation at this point. So what you're saying is we don't actually have anything? Not yet. But what I propose is, I think that after school we should go to the cemetery where Lily was buried. If my theory is right, then Kalnash should only unearth themselves in the last few days. The ground should still be disturbed. I notice that doesn't give us a way to stop Kalnash when they inevitably come after us, but it's better than nothing. Sure, I'll come with you.
Me too. We need to find this out. Goes without saying, don't it?
Glad to hear it. I brought, As he spoke, the bell of the class rang. Lunchtime was over.
You've brought a what, Gabriel?
Never mind now. We'll talk after class. Maybe at the front of school.
Wait, you lot want to go back to class now? Why the fuck are we just ditching and going to the graveyard right now?
The bus that goes past it only runs a few times a day. I checked the timetable and it's not going to be until after school anyway. One of the, perks of being in such a small town.
I wouldn't want to be seen outside of school anyway. What if someone told my parents or a teacher? It might make things more difficult over the next few days depending on what we need to do next.
Sorry, Victoria.
You either suck.
Needless to say, playing some fun games was the last thing any of on any of our minds after that discussion, and as we'd agreed, we all went to class. Can't speak for the others, but I could hardly concentrate on the lessons. Did I want Gabriel's theory to be right or wrong? If it was right, then we at least had some idea about what was going on. But if it was wrong, then there was still a chance that we'd really stop college for good. Until school was over, however, there was no way we could even begin to know.
I think we've gotten this one
Oh,
before.
that's fun.
Oh, is it?
We never got this one before,
Oh,
or
okay.
I don't remember at least.
Oh, no, I think I'm confusing it with the other one that we got that was like, serious over trivial or something like that was like similar vibes, but not quite the same.
So, there is a correct answer. Wonderful.
Yeah. I'm curious because I feel like it would be interesting to play around with that, but since we don't have like the stress meter thing yet, it's hard to like really get a sense for what each one does.
I'm thinking maybe it'll unlock when we get an ending. Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's probably, it's like a kind of like a new game plus thing of like, oh, now you can play it, but you have the ability to actually monitor things now. Kind of, sort of. I don't know.
We hopped on a bus after the final class was done for the day and took it to the cemetery. We were silent throughout the journey. I'm sure we all had our own theories about what we would find at the cemetery, but nobody wanted to voice theirs. Not talking about it helped us to keep what we were doing out of our minds, to keep us from thinking about too much about how Lily had ended up in that grave in the first place. Of course, once we were off the bus and confirmed that we were the only ones around, reality was there to confront us. There was no point in delaying it any longer.
Whew. This is a spooky
Not
graveyard.
very well maintained.
Yeah. Not at all. Which probably explains why they were able to go and bury, because everybody just thinks she's still missing, right?
I suppose.
So that explains why they were able to come here and bury her, no problem, without somebody being like,
So, what do you three think we'll find here?
Probably nothing. We're probably tapped out of the game. Probably gonna find that the grave is the same as always, and everything turns out to be fine. They're probably dead for good, honestly.
And that just confirmed that that's not happening.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know. I hope that whatever we find, it's some sort of clue.
Do any of you three have weapons on you? Other than Victoria's baseball bat, of course. Weapons? As in, what do you think we're gonna find there? I don't know. But if it was something I was thinking of last night when I came to the conclusion that Kalinash could be able to heal Lily's body. If that's the case, then Kalinash might be coming after us again, and I don't think it would hurt to have weapons with us. Well, seeing as I didn't hear your theory until today, no, I don't have any weapons on me.
Just my trusty baseball bat here. Great for breaking kneecaps or smashing in skulls.
I don't have any weapons on me. I don't really know what I could bring, even if I had thought of it.
I brought the longest kitchen knife I could from home. I think that should be ineffective enough against Kalinash if the worst case scenario happens. Try and see whether you can bring one from home next time, Hannah.
Okay.
Now, even if my theory is proven to be correct and Kalinash has broken up from Lily's grave, that of course doesn't mean that they've recovered enough of the lake. We know that.
Talk! How about we go look at the fucking grave, then we talk about what it means and what we do next after that?
An excellent point, Victoria. Let's get going, everyone. To my knowledge, none of us had ever been to Lily's grave since the funeral. So there was a funeral, okay.
Okay, I thought they were just saying...
So what is the prevailing theory of how Lily died?
Yeah, because she has so many stab
37
wounds.
stab wounds.
Yeah, I'm so confused, because I thought that the whole thing was that she just disappeared. And, I mean, they have cell phones, so forensic technology is a thing here. So, like, you're telling me they didn't find any sort of, like, DNA or anything?
They explicitly said Hannah was holding her down, so they
Yeah.
would have at least found her fingerprints. yeah.
Fingerprints or like a hair. Like it's so easy for hair to fall out. I don't know.
I've been meaning to, but whenever I thought about making the journey here, I felt sick. The grave was a reminder of the terrible mistake we'd all made. Fortunately, Gabriel always seemed to remember the way there and led the group in a direction which seemed vaguely familiar to me. It had been drizzling at some point in the afternoon. My shoes were picking up a lot of water as we crossed the ground. The silence as we walked soon got to me, and I decided I'd break it by talking to you.
Okay. So it should be Victoria now?
Mm-hmm.
Also, just nobody. I love instead of like myself, it just says nobody. I'm gonna
Yeah.
save here. Oh my god, this is not the time for this.
This is definitely not the time for this.
I love her
Do we
theme,
want to
though.
be atmospheric and just talk to nobody? Or do we want to continue with our rotation?
I don't know. We could reverse the rotation if you want. Do nobody, Hannah, Victoria.
Yeah, let's do that instead. I don't
Okay.
think this is the time for... This is just a mood killer, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Okay. No casual
casual
graveyard
graveyard
chat. Yeah.
I probably better not say anything. It would only make things more awkward.
Keiki? Are you alright?
Hannah? Oh, just being here feels a bit... Guess the mood's gotten everyone down a bit, huh? The scene of the greatest crime? Well, it didn't actually happen here. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. Which do you think would be more off-putting? That Kalnash might have been slowly forcing their way out of the ground here for the past year? Or that we might find that there's no sign of the grave being disturbed?
Finding nothing here would be more disturbing.
That's what
to
I
me
was
personally.
thinking too.
Well, I...
Hold up a second.
For a moment, I wondered why Gabriel wanted to stop, then I realized where we...
Oh, does it just interrupt the...
It just interrupts
event?
anything.
That's an interesting thing to test, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lily's grave was before us. Is it... Gabriel, is it... Do you think the Kalnash managed to dig their way out of it?
I can't tell.
Ground looks disturbed and there's not a lot of grass here, but I'd expect there to be a large hole if Kalnash had come out of the ground as recently as Saturday.
I...
Hey guys! I can solve the mystery! But nobody likes a mystery that's solved right away, do they? You need time to puzzle it out and come up with your own theory so that you feel smart if you turn out to be correct. So, how about all of you tell me what you think happened here?
What do we do? Gabriel was right, we should have brought weapons with us. I should have made sure to always have a weapon on me ever since I got home on Sunday. If y'all rolled Rush Kalnash at the same time, but how do we coordinate it?
Well, you're no fun. Okay, how about this? If someone gets it right, I'll let that person live a bit longer. Great incentive, right?
Kalnash, how can...
Ah, volunteer! Tell me, Keiki, what do you think happened here? Oh, shit.
Lily's body's still on the ground.
I just picked one, sorry. Oh no! Did it not go through?
It didn't.
Shit.
Should
I...
You know what? Keep going for a little bit and then reload afterwards.
Okay.
Well, if you think that giving me the silent treatment will buy you more time, I'll have to correct that misconception. Oh, yep.
Yep. Game over.
Oh! Now, Keiki's out of the way. Anyone else want to give it a go? Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Damn, okay. Well, whoops. So do you want to do the? Well, you said Lily's body's still in the ground. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do we still want to talk
Do you
to her?
want to? Do you want to try Victoria to see?
Yeah, let's try it and see how far things go. I don't like that timer. It was faster than I can read. That's just not fair. No, same. I agree. It was so fast.
Yeah, just we don't have to read anything yet. Just
Okay. That stupid test. Yeah, okay.
yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay. Okay.
I think Lily's body is still on the ground.
Okay. Lily's body's still on the ground. Oh! Wrong! Wow, you're really dense, aren't you, Keiki? I'll take pity on you and explain this slowly. I'm in Lily's body right now. The one right in front of you. A body can't be in two places at the same time, so that means that Lily's body can't be in the ground. Does that make sense to you? Anyway, you got it wrong. Unless I just decided that I don't want to play this game anymore and lied, but, well, you wouldn't have any way of knowing that, would you? The point is, this time you're going to be the one who will die. Oh.
Fail. Fail this time.
He succeeded again?
Gabriel, you have to fail sometime.
He's a monster!
Determinator.
Yeah.
With Kalnash's attention on me, Gabriel gashed towards Kalnash. He had the kitchen knife drawn, but as he approached, Kalnash simply knocked him back into Victoria, sending them both flying.
Yes, shout and scream as you attack someone. Brilliant tactic.
Even as Kalnash spoke, though, I saw something that he hadn't noticed. Gabriel dropped the knife when he was hit, and
Oh,
Hannah
no.
just picked it up. She looked uneasy with it in her hand, though. Hannah! Throw it to me! That's not a good idea. Well, you're at 2. So
I was
you
gonna
can-
say, if she
alright.
fails... Okay, I was gonna say, if she fails this after all the time we've spent on her, I would have been really mad. Catch!
Hannah threw the knife in a high arc well over Kalnash's head. I leapt up and grabbed him from the air. I was fairly sure I kept myself from the blade as I got it, but who cared about that right now?
You really think something like that will stop me? I'll tell you what, I'll give you one free hit. How you feel about that? Oh,
Yes.
okay, good. Hannah, you could do it, sweetie. Do a murder. Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Flashing the knife through the air as I moved forward, Kalnash seemed taken aback. I got a lucky hit and was able to get them in the neck, spraying blood out in the fountain. I followed it up with another slash and another, relentlessly injuring Kalnash without giving them a chance to fight back. They slapped a hand to the first wound, trying to keep the blood in, but it was completely ineffectual, the red liquid flowing out and over their fingers. The entire time they were completely silent. Finally, they collapsed to the ground, covered in blood.
Not bad. Not bad at all. See you in a day or two, Keiki.
Victoria and Gabriel made their way over to me, stumbling slightly as they did so. Kalnash's blow had been stronger than it looked, and it was a miracle that neither of them gotten a concussion. Keiki, are you okay? I think so. I hadn't realized how much I was panting, exhausted from the frenzy that Kalnash had driven me into. Wasn't aching anywhere I could feel, though, so it didn't seem as though Kalnash had managed to injure me in time. Anna, how about you?
I'm fine. Well, I mean, my heart's still racing and no, physically I'm fine.
Thank God for that. When you say that physically you're fine, though.
Don't hate me for this, but for a few moments there, I wasn't sure whether I should throw you the knife.
It did seem as though she hesitated for a moment.
Kanash was right there, and all that I could think of was, I
It's alright, Hannah. What's on your mind?
I was scared. Scared that I'd throw you the knife, but Kanash that they'd still kill you regardless. And then I would have just thrown away my only weapon, and without the knife, how would I be able to?
Well then, thank you for trusting me to deal with Kalnash. It, needless to say, it paid off.
Thank you for doing it. Kanash was right in front of me. I don't know whether I could actually do it. Stab them, I mean. Holding Lily down the first time was bad enough, and I don't think I could.
That's perfectly fine. We found ourselves on a really weird path. Nobody's expecting us to just roll with everything easily.
So you can bet that I'm fucking glad that Kalnash is dead and all, but did we fucking get anything from this?
What do you mean?
Kalnash is dead, yeah, but that's where we were on Saturday. What's the verdict, Gabriel? Is Kalnash able to heal up Lily's body or not?
I can't say for certain. I look at Lily's grave and it looks like there might have been some disturbance. But I don't want to make any assumptions without hard evidence. Call me overly cautious, but we did nearly die just then, and I don't know, whether you call it hard evidence, but what do you think Kalnash said at the end there? What, Kalnash? What are you talking about? Right at the end, just after I sort of finished up all the stuff I was doing. You didn't hear that?
None of us have any idea what you're talking about, Keiki. Cut to the chase.
They said they'd see me in a day or two. Again, just like on Saturday.
See, this keeps happening, and Keiki is the only one that hears it.
Anything else? Nothing that seemed important to me. I mean, they said that it wasn't that bad, but I think that was Kalnash trying to unnerve me. Well, the way I see it, Kalnash was, if they only came back on Saturday because of some magic mumbo jumbo that we don't know about, then they wouldn't be expecting to see you in a day or two, Keiki.
There's also the fact that Kalnash was able to recover from all of those burns you gave them on Saturday, Keiki. The ones that killed them.
Excellent point, Hannah. I think I'd be willing to go with the assumption that Lily can heal, Kalnash can heal Lily's body to an extent, and yeah, that makes sense.
So you're saying that we're going to be attacked by Kalnash again in a day or two?
Well, that's not necessarily true. We might work out how to sell Kalnash permanently before then. We might end up discovering that I'm wrong, and Kalnash can only regenerate Lily's body a certain number of times. This is death number 3 of Lily's body, and they...
The fuck are you on about, Gabriel? First you say Kalnash can heal Lily's body, now you're saying you don't know. Which one is it?
I don't know. I was hoping we'd find a clue here, and we sort of have, but we also just have put everyone in danger by taking this here. Like when I didn't get my dad to immediately drive out to the lake and fix up the car, or when I didn't say something about that damn stupid ritual. I could have stopped all of this, but but I didn't because I didn't think through the consequences. I didn't consider the risks properly. Oh, shut up, Gabriel. Huh? You couldn't have known any of those things would happen. And if we come here and found a clue that would help us stop College permanently with no demon around, you wouldn't be saying these things. You wouldn't go, wow, even though that was everything we were looking for, there was still a risk and we shouldn't have gone there. Stop beating yourself up over nothing.
I like this theme.
But you could have... But we didn't! Hannah and I, the four of us are all fine, and look, I don't ever want to fucking do that again, but I'll do it if the alternative is dying. So just stop being a mopey dick and focus on the good stuff.
That's my favorite novel. Sorry.
The good stuff? I suppose that we did learn, more or less, that Kaladesh can regenerate. And that means we got a little bit of time before it seems to kick in.
Which means that it means that we need to carry weapons on us, so that if we can't stop Kaladesh in time, the next time they appear. But I already have a But I already have a weapon.
Oh, yeah, but it's something, I guess. Thinking about it, we can also...
Wait, look!
You also been wildly looking for what she had spotted. Lily's body was dead, as it had been a few moments ago, so it took us a moment to realize what Victoria was looking at. Jesus, Victoria, maybe don't shout so loudly next time. You nearly gave me a heart attack. It's just some visitors to the graveyard.
Yeah, and what do you think will happen if they see us here, with Lily's body next to us and Keiki covered in blood?
Yeah, I don't think that this is a great look.
What are we waiting for? Let's go before they see us. This is a good scene. Always love when people... Oh, foot in the grave. You haven't unearthed any clues yet. Nice achievement. This is a good scene. Always love when people curse, use insults, and emotional-driven scenes to bring more emotions to it. Yeah. This has got really good writing.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Four of us ran as far away from the body as we could. I'm sorry to say that we probably stood on a few graves in a haste.
Why are you leaving the body there? That's just gonna cause, like, if anybody sees the body, that's gonna cause a lot more suspicion.
Once we were far away enough, we started walking back towards the bus stop. Wasn't as though there was anything else at Lily's grave. With the jacket of Gabriel's covering up most of the bloodstains I was covered in. We all parted ways, silently agreeing that we needed some time to ourselves. In spite of my words to Gabriel about how we got some success out of the afternoon, once I was back home I started to worry once more. Although killing Kaladesh was a setback for the demon, they were still going to town. Unless we could find a way to stop them for good.
Bread has been around for over 10,000 years.
Alright, so we should probably stop now. But,
yeah.
but before we do...
What? What the fuck?
Just go into the menu and save. Just save.
No. Stop.
And can you just load back to our before the scene? Yeah. No, to our to the hard save we made.
Oh, the hard save. Oh, I thought you meant...
Because we got the question wrong, yeah?
Yeah.
Think about it with more time. I guess she would have just filled the hole, right?
Yeah, probably.
If we answer correctly, does the scene change at all?
That's a good question.
It's the one on the bottom right.
These are the autosaves.
I mean, look.
Do you want to just do one of these?
It's the same thing as the hard save, I guess.
Okay. We'll just do this.
Yeah, just nobody. Skip. Finding nothing there. Skip. Fill the hole back in.
Sorry. Hold on.
Stop tipping.
I didn't know it would do that.
Log. Okay, just go back up.
Oh, this doesn't... This is just...
Yeah, Yeah, just keep going. Alright, just keep on going.
Uh-huh. Wrong. You seriously think that the first thing I do after getting out of the ground would be common labor? Do I look like I care about the state of Lily's grave? Anyway, you got it wrong. Unless, yeah, so that's wrong as well. Do you think the third option's also wrong? Do you think they're all wrong?
I think they're all wrong, yeah.
Interesting.
Mostly because teleporting would break my immersion.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I would agree. Interesting. I thought for sure that's what it was, is just like Kanash had tried to like give a little bit of extra time. Interesting. Huh.
Alright.
Well, this was an interesting run. Yeah, well, I'm very curious about what happens next.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea where that's going, but
we dealt with an hour and 40 of bullshit.
yeah.
But we got the 20 minutes of plot.
Well,
Hooray!
I mean, if we think about it, like, it's kind of speeding up a little bit because it took us 2 sessions to get to plot the first time. Granted, we did have like an hour's worth of government rants in there, but so if you take the hour out, it was like 3 hours, and this one was 2 hours to get to the plot ish. So I think it's speeding up. I imagine like as we go forward now, it'll probably go faster. But I don't know, maybe not. We'll see. Thank you for joining us, Floor, and anybody else who is out there watching, lurking. It was so good to see you again, Floor. I think we're streaming this one again on Tuesday night, which I know is super late for you. But we decided on Tuesdays we're gonna alternate between this one and Corpse Factory, and then whichever one we don't get to on the Tuesday, we'll play that on the Sunday. If there's no Ace Attorney stream, which means that we'll be having back-to-back streams of this one, essentially. So, and if you miss any of them, I export them all to YouTube, so you can always watch old ones or check out some other people. This game's really cheap. It's only like $4 or $5 if you want to get it yourself. They're an indie developer, and they gave us the code for this, so really super, super kind of them. Too Many Teeth Studios. So, on Tuesday, you're not going to be there. It's like at night. Yeah, on Tuesdays, yeah. Yeah, I figured as much as, because you're several hours ahead of us, so I figured it'd be late. But, just mentioning it for anybody who might be out there. But yeah, so thanks for joining us, and thank you, Kay, for streaming with me, and glad we got to fill the slot. Alright, bye, stream!
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sam!
Thank you.